Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're really digging into the art of letting things go.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
Mm.
And our guide here is Shunyo Masuno's book, How to Let Things Go, 99 Tips from a Zen Buddhist Monk.
Right. He's a Zen monk, head priest of this, 450-year-old temple.
Exactly. And also a renowned garden designer, which is, quite a combination.
It really is. And that mix, I think, really shapes how he approaches this.
Totally. You brought us this fantastic source, and our mission, really, is to explore these insights, how letting go isn't about, giving up.
Right. Not apathy.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He frames it as a vital skill, almost a survival skill, actually, in today's world.
With the constant information, the connection. Yeah.
Exactly. Learning what to release, he says, creates the space and the clarity for what really matters.
Okay. Let's really dive into this then. He starts with relationships, which, that feels like the perfect place to start, right?
Absolutely. It's often where we struggle most with control or letting go.
And his first point, tip 3, it's almost classic wisdom, but hard to practice. You can't change other people, only yourself.
hmm It sounds simple, but living it is something else.
So why is that so key for, smoother interactions?
Well, trying to force someone else to change is just a constant source of conflict, isn't it?
Yeah.
And frustration.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all about attachment to an outcome you just can't control. Zen thinking often brings it back to your actions, your mind.
So shift the energy inward.
Precisely. Stop trying to mold them and instead look at your own reactions, your expectations. You adjust those, and immediately you feel less friction, less stress.
Even if the other person doesn't change at all.
Right. Your relationship to the situation changes. That's the key.
That makes so much sense. It puts the power back with you, in a way.
Exactly. And he takes it further. Tip 4 suggests you don't even need, total understanding.
Right. He says knowing maybe half or even just 30–40% about someone, that's enough and realistic.
Yeah. Why is trying to know everything such a trap? Well, trying to know everything feels a bit like trying to control or possess their inner world.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
It's based on this illusion that complete transparency is possible, or even desirable. Masuno suggests relationships thrive more on connection, shared moments.
Not on having, a complete dossier on them.
Exactly. Expecting to know every single facet of your family, your partner, tips 5 and 6 touch on this. It's just unrealistic.
And sets you up for disappointment.
Totally. It breeds anxiety. If you accept that people, even loved ones, have their own private selves, the different perspectives, it allows for respect. You stop trying to force them into this box of your perfect understanding.
So it's respecting boundaries, even the invisible ones. How does this apply at work, then? Those relationships can be tricky. Tip 7 mentions professional detachment.
Yeah, workplace relationships, he argues, often function best with a degree of professional distance.
Not coldness, though.
No, not coldness.
Yeah.
It's about focusing on the shared goal, the work, getting too tangled up in personal drama, or trying to be best friends with everyone.
It complicates things.
It really can. And it can lead to problems down the line. It's about keeping a clear boundary between your job role and your personal life.
Which leads into tip 8, about avoiding cliques and seeing colleagues maybe not as friends or enemies, but as rivals for mutual growth. That's an interesting way to put it.
It is, isn't it? The Zen view often sees things as constantly changing, interconnected. If you label someone rigidly my ally, my enemy, you create these fixed attachments or aversions.
Right.
But seeing someone who challenges you as a rival for mutual growth, that shifts the whole dynamic.
How so?
Instead of focusing on the conflict, you can look at how their strengths, or maybe their different approach, actually push you to get better.
Ah, so it takes the personal sting out of it.
Exactly. Puts the focus back on the work and your own development. Turns potential conflict into maybe energy for improvement.
Okay. And speaking of observing others, tip 10, observing kids or subordinates instead of always jumping in. Why is that important for letting go of control?
Well, micromanaging, whether it's kids or team members, it comes from fear, right? Fear. Things won't be done right unless you control every single step. Masuno's advice is about fostering their independence. You observe, you're present, but you give them space. Space to try, maybe to stumble a bit, and to learn.
So you only step in if it's really necessary.
Right. Constant intervention, unsolicited advice. It wastes your energy and it stunts their growth. It means letting go of that need for things to be done exactly your way.
That feels tough in our results-driven world sometimes.
It can be. Shifting gears slightly, tip 11 talks about solitude, especially now with smartphones. How does being alone help us let go?
Good question.
Solitude is just crucial for letting go of all the external noise, the opinions, the demands. We're constantly bombarded, aren't we? Notifications, feeds.
Feeling like you have to be available 24/7.
Exactly. And that stops us being truly present with ourselves. Alone time lets you reflect, process things without that constant external input.
It's like hitting pause.
Yeah. It's where you reconnect with your own values, your intuition. And that's essential for knowing what's actually important to hold on to versus what needs releasing.
Like clearing the static. Okay. And related to managing expectations, tip 12, learning to say no, especially at work. Why is it okay if people temporarily dislike you for it?
Because always saying yes just to please people, that's a form of attachment, isn't it? Attachment to external validation.
Wanting everyone to like you.
Right. You end up prioritizing their reaction over your own capacity, your own well-being. Masuno's very practical here. Trying to be a Jack or Jill of all trades leads to burnout. Simple as that.
And the quality of your work suffers too, presumably.
Absolutely. Saying no sets boundaries. It protects your energy. That temporary discomfort, someone being maybe a bit put out, it's far less damaging long-term than the resentment and exhaustion from taking on too much.
So you let go of the need to be liked all the time.
Exactly. It's not selfish. It's self-preservation, like you said.
Taking a bigger view now, tip 13 talks about abiding by fate. That sounds a bit passive. How does accepting things won't always go your way actually liberate you?
It's not passive resignation in the Zen sense.
Mhm.
It's more about recognizing impermanence and the limits of our control. Life throws curveballs, right?
Constantly.
If you're deeply attached to one specific outcome, believing things must go exactly as you planned, well, that creates huge suffering when they inevitably don't.
So acceptance frees you from that struggle.
Yes, accepting that some things are just not meant to be the way you pictured frees you from fighting reality. It lets you adapt, find peace in the present, rather than battling what is practical. Especially
Right.
compared to, say, just looking at profit and loss, which tip 14 warns against, because life isn't always neat like that.
So it's an active acceptance. Got it. He brings up social media again in tip 15, warning about futile arguments. Fake news. How's that related?
Getting sucked into endless online debates or doom scrolling is just a massive energy drain.
Tell me about it.
It's often driven by attachment to being right, or FOMO, fear of missing out. Masuno's advice is basically choose not to engage with negativity and noise that doesn't serve you.
Maintain some distance.
Yeah. Let go of that compulsion to react to every single stimulus. Protect your mental space. And this includes, like he says in tip 16, letting go of needing to brag or present this perfect online self.
A kind of digital self-defense. Before we move from relationships, any other key points here? Tip 19, maybe?
Oh yes, that Zen saying, do not pursue those who leave nor turn away those who come to you. That speaks directly to letting go of painful breakups or separations. Clinging just causes more suffering, and closing yourself off to new connections stops growth. It's about seeing the natural flow in relationships, acknowledging impermanence, releasing attachment to how things should be.
And that connects to tip 20 as well, right? Letting go of past glories.
Exactly. Clinging to past success stops you moving forward, creating something new. Sometimes the best time to leave something is actually at its peak.
That's powerful. Framing loss not as failure, but just flow. Okay, so if part 1 was the external world, part 2 seems much more internal, letting go of worry, impatience, anger.
Exactly. Once you start setting those external boundaries, you can turn inward. And Masuno hits worry right away in tip 22, worrying about uncertain things, like the future. Pointless.
Because you can't control it anyway.
Right. Why waste energy spinning on hypotheticals?
So the energy spent worrying is just wasted.
Pretty much. The energy is way better spent on problems right in front of you, things you can actually address now.
Okay.
Which ties into the skill of forgetting, he mentions in tip 23. It's not denial, though.
No. So what is it?
It's more like consciously choosing where to put unpleasant memories. He talks about putting them in a memory drawer.
A memory drawer. I like that image. Tell me more.
Think of it like mental sorting. You don't erase the memory, it's still there in the drawer, but you close the drawer.
But it's not constantly in your face.
Exactly. It stops it from crushing your spirit, becoming mental garbage that clutters your mind, drains your energy. Maybe later, with time, you can open the drawer, look at it, find a lesson, but you don't have to live with it day in, day out.
It's active management of your internal space.
That's a great way to put it.
I love that. Okay, another internal friction point. Other people's expectations. Tip 24 talks about putting distance there. How does that help?
Well, when you're constantly trying to meet everyone else's expectations, your boss, parents, society, you're basically living a life directed by others, aren't you?
Yeah, you lose yourself a bit.
Totally. That pressure stops you acting authentically. But if you recognize their expectations are theirs, not your absolute obligation, you create mental breathing room.
Space to check in with yourself.
Exactly. Check in with your own values, your own desires. Choose actions that align with you, not just what someone else thinks you should do. That authenticity tips, Com 5 and 31, mention this, especially with social media masks. It's key for inner peace.
Letting go of needing that external approval. And speaking of external stuff, comparison. He really pushes back against comparing yourself to others, calling the average person futile in tips 26 and 27.
Oh, yeah. Comparison is just a thief of joy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a huge source of suffering. There's no universal standard, no average way to live. Everyone's unique.
But we do it all the time.
We do. Constantly measuring ourselves against others based on, success, stuff, social media. It's a losing game. There's always someone seemingly better or worse by some random measure.
So where should we focus comparison, if at all?
Masuno says compare yourself only to your yesterday self. That's tip 27.
Yep.
That's the only meaningful comparison. Are you a little wiser, kinder, more skilled today than yesterday? That's real growth. Focus there on internal progress, not external validation. Let go of that comparison anxiety.
That completely flips the script. What about disappointment, when people let us down? Tip 29 says approach broken promises with empathy, not anger. How? That seems hard.
It is hard. But disappointment often stems from our own rigid expectations. Masuno suggests broken promises often aren't, like intentional betrayals. Sometimes it's just a failure of capacity or foresight on their part.
So empathy means considering their situation.
Yeah, instead of instantly defaulting to anger, which is just attachment to how things should have gone,
Yeah.
let go of the ideal version, accept the reality. Maybe just say, like tip 30 suggests for unexpected stuff, well, these things happen.
These things happen. It sounds so simple, but
It can be incredibly freeing. It acknowledges reality without piling on judgment, acknowledges that impermanence we talked about.
right. What about generosity? Tip 33, immediately put things you've done for others out of your mind. Why?
Because expecting something back, it taints the act, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it pretty much guarantees disappointment if you don't get that reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
True generosity, in the Zen view, is giving without any expectation of return. Let go of what you've given immediately. Keep the act pure. Avoid building up those internal scorecards that just breed resentment.
Of course, saying thank you when others help us is still important.
Oh, absolutely. That's the flip side, and it's essential.
That's a high bar, but I see how it maintains peace. Before we wrap this section, any other key internal states? Mistakes, maybe?
Yes. Tip 38 on mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So important. Don't get stuck in regret that's just useless dwelling on the past. Shift to reflection.
Reflection, not regret.
Exactly. Mistakes happen. They're unavoidable. See them as chances to learn and adapt, not as defining failures. Let go of attachment to a perfect track record. Embrace the learning.
That's a crucial distinction. And he ends this part connecting internal clutter to physical clutter. Tips 39 and 40. Getting rid of stuff lightens the spirit.
Yeah, in Zen, the external often reflects the internal. Physical clutter can definitely contribute to mental clutter. Getting rid of unused things isn't just tidying, it's practicing non-attachment.
And he makes that distinction in tip 40, right? Between throwing away and relinquishing.
Yes. Subtle but important. Throwing away can feel wasteful. Relinquishing implies giving it a new life, letting someone else find value in it.
So it's not just gone, it's moving on.
Right. That act declutters your space in your mind, eases guilt, reinforces that idea of flow. It lightens your spirit.
Relinquishing, I like that. Okay, so we've done relationships, internal states. Part 3 seems to be about handling the constant stream of input information, opinions being measured in our reactions.
Absolutely. In this instant world, managing reactions is key to not getting swept away. Tip 41, don't take everything at face value, especially from careless talkers.
That seems crucial online. How do we handle the sheer volume, though? Information overload.
Well, tips 42 and 43 talk about needing to social distance from information itself.
Social distance from information. Okay.
We feel like we need to consume everything, but it just fuels anxiety, wastes energy. Sometimes the best thing is to consciously choose not to engage. Mentally close your eyes, cover your ears.
Curate your input.
Exactly. Let go of that compulsion to know or react to absolutely everything.
Intentional filtering. But to do that, you need a strong sense of self, right? Tip 44 says establish your values before listening to others.
Yes, your values are your anchor. Without that clear sense of what's important to you, you'll just get tossed around by every conflicting opinion.
So you listen from a place of stability.
Right. You evaluate their input against your own compass instead of letting them steer your ship entirely.
That's essential for navigating complexity. And part of that stability, tip 45, being okay with not knowing everything.
Totally. There's so much pressure to seem informed about absolutely everything, but pretending or feeling awkward admitting ignorance, that's just stress you don't need.
It's okay to say, I don't know.
It really is. Let go of needing all the answers. If you're curious, ask. Otherwise, it's fine to be behind the times on some stuff.
Removes a lot of pressure. What about strong emotions like anger? They lead to unmeasured reactions. Tip 46 has a technique.
Yeah, it's about the pause. When anger flares up, use a mantra like slow down, slow down, slow down.
Create a gap.
Exactly. A vital gap between the trigger and your reaction. Even Zen monks get angry, he says, but the practice is not acting impulsively. The pause lets the initial surge pass, lets you respond more skillfully.
Let go of the emotion's immediate grip.
You got it.
That pause is crucial. He connects this to streamlining life too. Tip 47, cutting unnecessary tasks. How does doing less help reactions?
Well, if your life is crammed with useless tasks and commitments,
Yeah.
you're going to feel overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
And more reactive.
Makes sense.
By consciously cutting waste, things that don't add value or are beyond your capacity, tip 48, you free up energy, mental and physical. That creates the space to respond thoughtfully, not just react out of exhaustion.
Choosing where to put your energy.
Always back to energy management.
And speaking judiciously, tip 49, how does that fit?
Careless words, spreading unverified stuff, trying to be a know-it-all. It causes harm, creates conflict unnecessarily. Masuno stresses the weight of words.
Think before you speak?
Basically, yes. Pause. Are your words accurate, helpful, necessary? Let go of the impulse to just fill silence or offer opinions constantly. Choose words with intention.
Which aligns with pausing before replying to messages too. Tips 50 and 51.
Precisely. That expectation of instant replies. Huge stressor. Not every message needs an immediate answer. Give yourself time to process, especially bad news.
Avoid saying something you'll regret.
Right. Manage your emotions, craft a thoughtful response, or maybe no response is best sometimes. Let go of the tyranny of immediacy.
So much of this is about creating space, isn't it? Physical, mental, emotional space. Okay, let's look at part 4. Avoiding wasted energy. Sounds like putting it all together.
It really is. If you're constantly battling relationships, caught in internal storms, reacting impulsively, you're leaking energy everywhere. This part's about practical ways to conserve and direct it. He starts with cultivating optimism, tip 62.
Optimism. How does that avoid wasted energy?
Because anxiety and pessimism just consume so much energy, often worrying about things that never even happen. Sure. Consciously looking for the bright side, or remembering that mantra, there is no day without end, helps break those negative thought loops.
It's not ignoring reality, though.
No, it's choosing where you direct your mental focus.
Okay.
Seek the positive, and you stop energy spiraling into useless worry. This links to tip 63, enacting a force quit when you're stuck in panic.
A force quit for your brain. I like that.
Yeah. Consciously interrupt the negative loop, calm down, and focus on what you can do right now.
Okay. And trusting your judgment, tip 64. How does that save energy?
Indecision, constantly second-guessing yourself because what others might think. It's draining. Listen to others, sure, but ultimately, you're the protagonist of your life, right? Masuno says, stay confident in your core approach. Let go of needing constant external validation for your choices. That frees up all the energy you'd spend agonizing. Allows you to just move forward.
Very empowering. Another practical one. Finding meaning in your work. Tip 65, no matter how small it seems.
Yeah, if you see your work as pointless, just a grind, it becomes a massive drain. But recognizing that all work, even small tasks, contributes to the whole, that gives it purpose.
And purpose is energizing.
Exactly. Makes the effort feel valuable, not wasted. Let go of the ego needing some grand title. Embrace the dignity in just contributing.
And to keep that energy going, tip 66 suggests a small change every day to fight monotony. Why?
Routine can get stagnant, energy sapping if you're just on autopilot. Making one small conscious change, different route to work, try a new food, learn one thing, it jolts you awake a bit.
Helps you notice the subtle differences that are always there anyway.
Right. Keeps your mind engaged. Stops energy leaking out through boredom or feeling stuck. It reinforces that core Zen idea in tip 67.
Yeah.
Right here, right now. Just you.
That right here, right now idea feels so central. How does focusing energy on the present action stop waste?
Because regret pulls your energy back to the past, which you can't change. Anxiety pulls it to the future, which hasn't happened. Both are outside the zone of action.
Only the present is real.
Exactly. All your power, your potential, exists only now. So immerse your energy fully in what you're doing right now. There's literally no energy left over to waste on useless dwelling or worry. It's ultimate efficiency.
And this applies to work, too. Tip 68 mentions change being the law of life, and tip 69, approaching work like a living thing.
Yes. What does that mean? A living thing.
It means letting go of rigid formulas, right? Stop clinging to past successes or failures.
Just like a garden needs constant attention to changing conditions connecting to his other expertise, a project needs adaptability.
Don't waste energy trying to force old solutions onto new problems.
Exactly. Fresh eyes for each task. Be ready to adapt. That flexible mindset saves so much energy compared to forcing a static approach. It's about prioritizing the present task. Like tip 70 says, do today what needs to be done.
That links his roles beautifully. What about strengths? Tips 71 and 72 focus on what you're good at, let others handle weaknesses. How does that save energy?
Trying to force yourself to be good at something you're just
Yeah.
not. It's incredibly energy intensive. And the results are often mediocre anyway.
So play to your strengths.
Right. Recognize them, cultivate them, work more effectively, and let go of the ego needing to be good at everything. Trust others with their strengths in a team. That delegation maximizes collective energy. Tip 72.
That's just practical wisdom. He also hits biases, tips 73 and 74. Letting go of gender discrimination or judging just by degrees. Why is bias wasted energy?
Because bias runs on preconceived notions, limiting labels, colored glasses, tip 76 calls them, instead of engaging with reality, the actual person, their actual results.
So you're spending energy maintaining a distortion.
Exactly. Discriminating based on sex, tip 73. Dismissing talent because they lack a certain degree, tip 74. It takes energy to hold on to those judgments. Let go of rigid categories, evaluate individuals on merit, and you use your energy more accurately, ethically. You see potential bias might have hidden.
So bias isn't just unfair, it's inefficient too. What about clear decisions? Tip 75, avoid big choices when tired.
Obvious, maybe, but crucial. Decisions made when tired or stressed, often poor ones that take more energy to fix later, your judgment's just impaired.
So wait until you're refreshed.
Simple advice. Conserves energy by preventing avoidable mistakes and regret. Respect your own state. Let go of the pressure for instant decisions.
Simple but powerful. Anything else key on avoiding wasted energy here?
Tip 80 on competition is interesting. Sometimes the smartest move is to step out of the ring temporarily.
Not giving up, though.
No, not giving up. Conserving energy, maybe improving skills, letting go of the need to always be fighting. Strategic withdrawal could be the path to long-term success. Managing battle fatigue.
Counterintuitive to never give up, but makes sense for sustainability. Okay, last part, part 5. Living comfortably by avoiding black and white thinking. This feels core.
It really is. So much discomfort comes from rigidly labeling things good or bad. Masuno starts with tip 82, impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, good or bad.
Understanding that brings stability.
Yeah. Stop clinging to the good. Stop desperately resisting the bad. Take everything as it comes. There's no inherent fortune or misfortune. It's just what's happening now. And that will change too.
Recognizing life's fluidity. Tip 83 uses a Zengo. Think neither good nor evil. What's a Zengo again, and how does this help?
A Zengo is a short Zen phrase, often paradoxical for reflection. Think neither good nor evil challenges our deep habit of instantly categorizing everything.
Things are just neutral inherently.
That's the idea. Our labels, good, evil, come from our perspective, our conditioning, our attachments. Letting go of those automatic judgments helps you see situations more clearly with nuance.
And that makes it possible to enjoy every day, as he says.
Right. Find value even in difficulty, because it's just experience, not inherently bad. Shift from judgment to experience.
Wow. And because there's no single right path, tip 84 says all your choices are the right ones. That feels huge.
It is. Think of the energy wasted agonizing over what-ifs, regretting choices. Masuno basically says, once you choose, that is your path. Like the Cheshire Cat, maybe? Any path gets you somewhere.
Stop worrying about the road not taken.
Exactly. Useless. Put your energy into making the most of the path you're on. Let go of indecision. Let go of the illusion of one perfect choice.
Embrace the path instead of regretting the choice. This links to tip 85. ignore external criticism, especially that after-the-fact Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah, people love to criticize with hindsight. But their scorn ignores the reality you faced at that moment. Your decision was the best you could do then.
So let go of defending yourself against that.
Yes. It's just noise based on a false premise. Conserve your energy. Learn from it for yourself, not for their approval.
Incredibly freeing. He also calls regret and anxiety delusions straight up in tip 86. Why delusions?
Because they aren't real in the present moment. Regret is stuck in a past you can't change. Anxiety is lost in a future that doesn't exist yet.
They're mental constructs.
Exactly. They delude you into suffering outside the only reality you have. Now, delude not thyself, he says. Let go of them. Ground yourself in the present. Take meaningful action.
Energy black holes. And reframing failure, tip 87. Seeing it as a stumble, not the end.
Similar idea. Failure is temporary. It's a moment on a path. People who achieve loads fail loads too. See it as a chance to learn, start over, not an identity.
Let go of the shame.
Right, and recognize you can always begin again. Limitless potential when you let go of that finality.
Puts it in perspective. And while aiming high is good, tip 89, dreams as guideposts, tip 88 reminds us to appreciate the slow, steady path. Why is that comfy?
Our culture loves quick wins, shortcuts. But Masuna reminds us, big things are built steadily, step by step. A journey of 1,000 miles.
Rushing leads to mistakes.
Often. Costs more energy later. Let go of impatience for instant results. Appreciate the process. Build solidly. It's more comfortable, more sustainable. Focus on that next best step.
Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Lastly, differences between people again. Tip 91. Nobody is truly normal. Accepting individuality makes life more comfortable.
So much stress comes from trying to fit in or wanting others to be just like us. So many men, so many minds. Differences are natural.
Trying to force uniformity is exhausting.
Totally. Let go of needing others to fit your idea of normal. Approach communication with empathy. Find common ground, but respect differences. Less friction, more harmony.
And building on that, tips 92 and 93, don't breed resentment, even with rivals.
Yes, the impulse might be to crush the competition, put them down. But Masuno says that just fuels resentment and retaliation down the line.
So find a way to win them over, or at least coexist.
Yeah. A more comfortable and ultimately more effective path. Let go of needing total victory. Acknowledge their humanity, even in disagreement.
Requires real composure.
Wow.
We've covered so much ground: relationships, worry, reactions, energy, acceptance.
It's clear his core message, coming from Zen wisdom, is really about reclaiming your energy and clarity. Consciously choosing to let go of what you can't control.
Others' behavior, future anxieties, past regrets, needing approval, those rigid judgments.
Right. Doing that frees up just immense mental and emotional space.
And that space isn't empty, is it? It's where we can actually live in the present moment, focus our energy on what we can do, what matters right here, right now.
It's an active choosing, a discernment, not just passive indifference.
Exactly. It lets us move through life with more intention and a lot less unnecessary baggage.
Beautifully put.
So what does this deep dive into letting go mean for you, listening right now? If the core idea is about freeing up energy to simply be present in your life, what's one thing you are currently holding on to? Maybe a worry, an expectation, a past event, a need to control something. What's one thing that, if you were to relinquish it, even just a little bit, would create the most space for you to just be here right now?